Today's video is going to help you decide what to max out because later on in your Albion Online journey, especially if you play enough, you're going to have a ridiculous abundance of these combat fame credits. These will be used to up your specialization in different weapons and armors and stuff like that. So today's video is not only to help you figure out how and what to spec up in, but to help you decide if you want to really blow these points. So first, I'm going to tackle the question of, should you go past level 100 specialization? After level 100 specialization, every time you go up a level, you have to pay the combat fame credits. It's the only way to go up. You can't grind it out anymore. You also have to pay a silver cost. So for instance, if I wanted to completely max out the Curse Staff tree here, from 100 to 120 will cost me about 51 million combat fame credits for each node, and a little bit under 16 million silver because of the global discount. Otherwise, it's over almost 17 million silver. So, what does that get me? Well, for the Curse Staff weapon, it gives me 40 item power, which is not a lot, and 4 to the other weapons. So that would be 4, 8, 12. Well, let's just say I just want to play Curse Staff. You want to figure out what is it that you like to do most in this game. Let's say you like to rat mists with a flat 4 Curse Staff. Well, how much more damage would we actually do with a flat 4 Curse Staff? We would have 40 item power there, and then 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So we would have 56 additional item power by blowing what's nearly 1 billion silver worth of combat fame credits and the silver cost of leveling this to 120. Is that worth it? I don't know. Let's find out. Here we are on the glorious test realm where I can test out weapon specializations. We have our Curse Staff set at 100. I have my ratting set with the Curse Staff, the Hunter Hood, the Cleric Robe, and the Soldier Boots. I don't need to allocate the skills really. Well, I guess I need to allocate the passives so that we get the proper damage. So I'll just, use what I normally use here. And there we go. So we're going to do a very specific rotation on the target dummy, and then we're going to boost our specs and see the different damage. So I'm going to try no auto attacks here. We're going to do 1 Q, 1 W, 1 Curse Explosion, 1 Q, and 1 more Q. There we go. So we're going to see how much damage this does, and that dealt 1,420 damage. So let's see if we get that result one more time. Make sure that we get consistent DPS, because that's what we're checking right now. So 1 Q, 1 W, 1 Curse Explosion, 1 Q, and then 1 more Q, and there we go. So that's a full stack of Qs, 1,420 damage, great. Now we're going to unspec out, or not unspec, I'm sorry, we're going to make these 120, and see how much more damage that we do. Here we go, and see if it's worth it or not, because if the damage goes up a lot, then hey, that makes our ratting experience that much better. But if it barely goes up at all, then this is a complete waste of points, money, silver, etc. We're going to unequip the weapon and re-equip it because that's just how things work. So remember, our number to beat is 1,420 total damage. Alright, so putting on cooldowns, here we go. Q and W and E and Q. No auto attacks. And Q. And now let's see that damage. 1,490. So do we really want to spend almost a billion silver for 70 more damage? I don't think so. I don't think anyone in their right mind would want only 70 extra damage. And yes, I could put on an 8-4 and it might be, like 280 to 300 more damage difference, but it's not worth 700 million silver. It never will be. That's why I don't like going over 100. There's rare occurrences where going over 100 actually is beneficial, and I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to show you the quick and dirty if you want to prioritize the item power value of just one item. This is how you would do it. Alright, so let's say you want to be a Curse Staff main. That's all you care about. You don't care about anything else in the entire game. You just want to make your Curse Staff as strong as possible. And you have a whole bunch of combat fame credits somehow to do it, alright? Maybe you got it from tomes, maybe you got it from leveling other stuff, maybe you unspec'd out of everything, I don't know. But here's how you would technically do this. Step number 1 is you would level your Curse Staff to 95, alright? And I'll show you why, okay? So we got level 95 Curse Staff. Now here's the thing. Every level you put into Curse Staff will increase your item power by 2 for the Curse Staff, right? So, at level 95, to go to level 96 will cost you 457,000 combat fame credits. Instead, what you should do is for your other normal, non-artifact weapons, that would be your Great Curse and your Demonic Staff. It's always the first 3 weapons on the left of the tree are your normal ones. So, for instance, for Frost Staff, you got Frost Staff, Great Frost, and Glacial. These 3 weapons do not require any artifacts to craft. So as you can see here, it's just wood and metal. Wood and metal, wood and metal. After that, it takes an artifact. It takes, all these different little extra ingredients here, or an Avalonian item here. So, the reason why you only want to level the normal ones is because when you level a normal one, you get a 0.2 bonus to item power, but for your artifact items, you only get a 0.1 bonus. So, as you can see here, if I were to level Great Curse to where it gives +2 to all your other curse stabs, this will only cost me 340,000 combat fame credits. So it is more beneficial to the power of your curse staff to level your other weapons to 11 first. So there we go. We leveled that to 11. That's +2. And leveled that to 11. So now we're at, again, +2 for 340,000. Now, do we level it to 21? That's going to cost us 455,000 versus costing us 457,000. So again, we would level this to 21. There we go, because that's technically cheaper, only by 2,000, but you still get the same power boost bonus to your curse staff. From there, you're going to level your curse staff to level 102. That's right, we're going above level 100 here. Once you hit level 102, you'll level these to 31 because it'll be cheaper. See, this only costs 609,000, whereas this would cost 619,000. So that's why we're going to level these to 31 now. There we go. Next up, you're going to pump your weapons now to 104. There we go, it's level 104. And now you're going to pump these weapons to 41 because, again, this costs 814,000, whereas this would cost 831,000. But now this is where it gets different. This is where you start dipping into your artifact weapons, because if this cost 831,000 for +2, well then this will only cost 796,000 for +2. It's cheaper. So now your artifact weapons will become level 21. There we go. And this is how you very slowly and more expensively increase the power of a singular weapon without wasting a single point of your combat fame credits. From there, from level 104, you push it to 106. That's the wrong weapon. You push it to 106, there we go. And if we want to go further, that's 1.1 million. This means your weapons now go to level 51 at 1.089 million. There we go, put those to 51. And then from there, you would go to level 108. And then these go to 61. Alright, just like that. Very good. And then your artifact weapons here would go to 41. Alright, so we got 41 there. And 41 there. And you get the idea, right? So this is the cost-effective way of increasing your item power. Now what I'm curious, because this is the cheapest way to do it, right? This will absolutely cost you the least amount of combat fame credits to give you the most item power in curse staffs, which currently this would make my curse staff 998 item power. That's pretty damn good. Now, the lazy way that most people do, they do it a little bit wrong, and this costs you way more combat fame credits than it needs to. Is they just level everything at first up to 100, even though they never plan to use these weapons. Like, if you're never going to use the Great Curse Staff, if you're never going to use the Demonic Staff ever in anything that you do, doing it this way might give you more item power, but it's going to cost a whole hell of a lot more combat fame credits. You're not being efficient at maxing out a singular weapon, And I'll show you here. We were at, what, 998 item power. We're going to max this all out to 100. And yeah, this will be more. This absolutely will be more item power, but at a huge cost. So we go from 998 to 1020. So we earned 22 extra item power, which is almost nothing, but we paid a whole hell of a lot more combat fame credits for it. And that is not how to be efficient at leveling or prioritizing a singular piece of equipment. What if you want to prioritize having fun and having variety? Because I am a man of variety. I get bored if I eat the same things every day. I get bored if I do the same things every day. I have to mix things up and change things. Also, I sold some glacial staff. Cool. Alright, so how do you prioritize fun and variety? Well, for me, personally, what I do, I'm a collector of 8.4 items. I've got this bloodletter, this dagger, arcane staff, witchwork staff. You know, I've got a whole bunch of different 8.4 items. Some that aren't so good, like this wailing bow. Ew, if you want to buy this from me, I will sell this to you. Just let me know in the comments, bro. But yeah, I got more 8.4 items here, more 8.4 items here, and I've started another little chest of 8.4 items over here, like carving sword. Man, I'm not a sword guy. Spirit hunter, hell, I don't use spears, even a double-bladed staff, right? Glacial, life touch, I'm not a healer. I don't do group stuff. Why do I need this? Because I want to have fun and have variety. Oh boy, do I ever. So, how do I spend my combat fame credits if I want to min-max my fun variety? And I will show you. This is the live server, by the way. We're spending 314 million combat fame credits. Now, I did a little bit of writing down some stuff. Let me just kind of show you what I have written down here. And you can see that I'm doing a whole lot of math, and I'm adding up all the stuff it would cost for me to level all the things up, and then I subtracted some things, and then I add some things, and subtract some things. I really couldn't decide on Blight Staff if I wanted to max it out, but after fiddling with it on the test run, I decided, ew, I don't want to level Blight Staff, that's gross. So there we go with that, and let's begin the fun having. So here we'll start with the Frost tabs. I managed to get an 8.4 Glacial Staff, and what kind of fun will I have with the Glacial Staff? Well, faction bombing. So we definitely want that at level 100. And there we go. We just spent a whole bunch of combat fame crits on Glacial Staff that we might use a few times and never again. Now, remember earlier when I showed you how to maximize your item power boost? I also have this Permafrost that I've had maxed out for a while. I want to increase the power of both of these, so I'm going to go ahead and put Frost Staff at 21, because that's how to optimize the item power, and Great Frost at 21, even though I don't really use these weapons. It is just more beneficial to boost the power of our Glacial and our Permafrost. Whereas, remember, it's not worth it to level these artifact weapons until these are like level 104 or 108, if you remember earlier in the video. Next up is the Witchwork Staff and the Arcane Staff. Now, this is a great faction bombing weapon. I love both these weapons. The Arcane Staff is a very powerful 1v1 weapon or mist weapon as well. I definitely want that to be level 100 because I want to use that. Now, Great Arcane, not something I'm going to really be using, so it can stay at level 21. Enigmatic, I played around with this on the test run too, and I like the shield, but I don't really need an 8.4 Enigmatic unless someone wants to buy me one. Witchwork Staff, we're pumping that bad boy to 100. And there we go. So we're good now. Yes, I could pump all of these to 100 and give my faction bombing sets just a tiny bit more power, but I don't really need to. At least not right now. Maybe in the future. Next up is our healing staff weapons. We have our Life Touch, which we have an 8.4 of. I want to have that maxed out just because I want to be able to heal a bunch of stuff. There we go. Now, Holy Staff, again, remember, we're making that level 21. We're also making Great Holy level 21, again, because this gives us more item power for our Life Touch Staff. There we go, and it's more economically efficient. Now, we don't touch the artifacts. No need to touch them. Fire Staff. Boy, oh boy, there's a couple Fire Staffs that I want to play with. That's Fire Staff, of course, and Wildfire. Now, this is great for full loot mists and corrupted dungeons and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm definitely going to max out our Fire Staff here because this is the weapon I mainly use these days for skinning. Great Fire can go to 21. Infernal to 21. And you know, I really want to play around with a Brimstone Staff. I want to do faction bombing with a Brimstone. But I'm not entirely sure I want to buy an 8.4 Brimstone or level this up to 100. Not yet. Maybe I'll decide in the future. Wildfire Staff, I'm also not entirely sold on it yet. So I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off on the Wildfire Staff for now. Because I did play with it for a couple days on an alt account. And it was okay, but it was a little iffy sometimes. Let's keep moving. Now, armors, you can max those if you want. It's just for defenses. I'm an offensive guy. I don't really care for defensives too much. I'm passing on the Blight Staff. Also, you'll notice that my 3 nature staffs here are already above level 21 to boost the druidic staff. So I did this a long time ago. I am not touching the the prowling staff. Yeah, I got it leveled up. I don't like it. It can't dismount players in a yellow zone with 8.4. There's no point to level this. I only have this at level 73 because I ate tomes to get this to 100 mastery. 100 mastery on my entire tree. Next up is the double-bladed staff. We're going to go ahead and boost that to 100, even though this is one of the weakest weapons to spec up. So I think this is honestly a waste of points. But I do want to make sure that I do an okay amount of damage with it. So I'm going to go ahead and pump the 2 other normal weapons to 21. And finishing that up. Next up is spears. Now, the Spirit Hunter, it's actually very good. I'm going to make a whole video about how to use this in faction warfare in a very cheesy way. So we're going to go ahead and level spears to 21, which it was already kind of leveled up there, so I didn't have to put a lot of points into it. Because, you know, I like you, I was a newbie, and, you know, I got told by the lies, oh, spear is super good. Spear is not super good. There's still people on 4chan shilling the spear. Can't believe it. Now, this one is a little bit different. This is the dagger tree. And this is where a lot of our points are going to go. So the one-handed dagger, I definitely want that 100 because it is a solo group dungeon boss killer. It's also a gank weapon, which I love, so 100. The dagger pair, also a nice gank weapon, that's going to 100. The claws, I don't have an 8.4 claws. I would love to buy an 8.4 claws. Does anyone have one for sale? I definitely want to level this to 100 because it's, again, a gank weapon that I will be using. The Bloodletter, absolutely 100 because it's a weapon I will be currently using. I have an 8.4 Bloodletter. This leaves these 2 weapons here, the Bridled Fury and the Demon Fang. Now, here's the thing. This is the, I want to buff the damage of Dagger Pair, I want to buff all 5 of these, even Death Givers, as much as possible because I have an awakened 8.4 Death Givers. So, if I were to level this to 100, it's going to be a boatload of points, but it will increase item power by 9.9. Essentially, plus 10. On all the daggers that I use. So, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Demon Fang going in. Same thing with Bridled Fury, level 100. And there we go. That's a plus 20. So now, boy oh boy, I have 100 in all daggers. And that feels good. It feels good. But most importantly, it's because I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 7 weapons consistently and constantly. I already have bows maxed out. You know, these are 107 and 108, my 2 most used bows. Everything else is at 100. Alright, moving down to the armors. All the leather armors are level 100, which is interesting. Why are these darker and these are shinier? I don't get it. Whatever. Boots, don't care about leather boots too much. Of course, all crossbows offhands are 100. Fist weapons, I've got the one that matters, the Spike Gauntlets, level 100. That means we can boost these to 21. Right, get that item power min-maxed. Also, I'm in the process of leveling Earthsign Maulers, but I'm doing this manually through Black Zones. So it's only level 23 right now, and this is like several days worth of Black Zones. Let's see now. Hammers, you know, I could max out the Great Hammer. I don't use hammers. That's a group weapon. I don't use maces. That's a tank weapon. Axes are a little different. You know, I could go ahead and max these out, but it's not much item power. The only axe I really use these days is the Bear Paws. I don't use any of this other stuff. I used to use Great Axe a lot. I used to use Battle Axe a lot. I don't anymore. But if I were to, like, say, max out Realm Breaker, you know, put that at 100, it's only 4 item power, so 4, 8, 12. 12 item power, and then another, like, 14 to 15 item power max. That's all I would be getting. Guess what? I jumped on the test realm. I tested my Bear Paws even at level 120, which I could totally do right now, for another plus 12. It's not damage that's worth noting. Like, I won't even notice. Carving Sword. Let's bring that bad boy to 100 because that's a fun weapon in Yellow Zone Mists. And of course, we need to bring the Broadsword to 21. There we go. The Claymore to 21. And of course, the Dual Swords to 21. And dual swords is another fun weapon too. Might max that out. Check this out. So I'm not going to bother with the armors here. And that's all the weapons currently in Albion Online. I still have 108 million combat fame credits left to spend. And I just unlocked several more weapons that I can play very efficiently and have fun with. So what am I to do now? So, well, if, you know, I could pump up our Witchwork staff to level 108, pump these to 51, you know, pump these to 41. I could do that, and I might just do that. Or I could specialize in another weapon. I could get this this Wildfire to 100. Boom, there we go. That's another 17 million. I could also pump up Brimstone to 100. You know, the possibilities are endless, right? And yeah, I just have to decide now what I want to spend these 108 million points on. And so after much deliberation, after much thinking and deciding, I figured, why the hell not? Why don't we just max out the whole arcane tree? Because I like giving people shields with enigmatic, though maxing out Great Arcane doesn't do much for the time stop. Occult doesn't do much for the run fast little beam on the road. Malevolent Locust, again, doesn't do much for damage reduction. And even Song barely gets a damage boost. So really, I'm wasting a lot of points here. But remember, it's going to buff up the Witchwork Staff's item power. So what is that right now? Right now, I'm at 1895 item power with the Witchwork Staff. And there's no other weapons I really honestly want to play. I really thought hard about the Fire Staff. And it's like, yes, with level 100 Wildfire, I can probably go into Mists and kill some geared players every once in a while, but it's a real uphill battle, and it wouldn't let me one-shot tier 5 mobs. I would need an 8.4 Fire Staff and higher skinning levels to do that. So unfortunately, Fire Staff is out. You know, I really debated the Blight Staff too, because it's like I want to AoE heal people, and I don't have a good AoE heal weapon, but it's like the difference between 14 spec Blight Staff. Hell, the difference between, what is the Blight Staff I have? This 6.3 and an 8.4 Blight Staff, which is like 300 item power, is only like maybe 200 extra healing. It's really not worth it. It's just really not worth it. And I would rather have more damage with, you know, a build that I can is solo viable, such as the Witchwork and the Arcane. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull the trigger here and make these all level 100. There we go. And that's level 100 Enigmatic, level 100 Great, level 100 Occult, and level 100 Malevolent Locust. Go ahead and get that cranked up there. And we still have plenty left, man. We still have plenty left. Look at that. We have 25 million remaining. And now our item power is 1969. And I don't know if I want to keep pumping this or not. And you know, since I have max arcane, I gotta celebrate with this enigmatic staff. Now, this is gonna give a boatload of shields to people, way more than the tooltip is listing with spec. So let's just go ahead and pull the trigger on that. 25 million gone. And we put that bad boy on, and look at that. Oh man, that's a juicy amount of shield right there. And even up here, 1,985 shield, 1,300 shield constantly being reapplied. So look at this, just everyone's getting big shields now. And yeah, if you want to receive these big ass shields, I have a Discord server where you can join for some Bridge Watch faction PvP, and I'll definitely be using this to give you a massive super shield so you never die. I think I've figured out what I'm going to spend my points on, and that's offhands, because if we use a Fire Staff, then we definitely want a Tome, so that's going to be 2.5 million. Also, it's going to cost me some silver. That's fine. Next up is the Moizak, which is for Arcane Staffs, another 2.5 million there. And then Taproot, that would be for Spears, though I don't have Spears leveled, so I don't know about that one. But Celestial Censer, also that would be for healing, but again, I think that the Mist Horn, whatever it's called, this thing, Mist Collar, I think that's a little bit better, so I'm just gonna keep it there for now. For my final points, I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I'm going to see how much I can beef up these Shoes of Tenacity's damage. That's right, so this thing does 494 magic damage every 12 seconds. I think that's pretty cool. So I just want to see how much further we can push this, and because I'm forgetful, I'm going to type it into the chat, copy it. Now obviously I can't type in the chat, but you get what I'm doing. 494, let's go. Let's see how much we can buff this damage up. I'm not using the test drum, I'm just going to blow the points. First, we're going to max out Shoes of Tenacity to level 100 for 2.4 mil. That's easy enough. Then we're going to go ahead and max out the normal shoes here. That's another like 3 mil. And then Hunter Shoes, go ahead and pump that up to 100. Assassin Shoes, that's another damaging shoe for 3.7 mil. So we have 7 million left to spend. Am I going to be able to bump this up even more? Well, let's go with Mistwalker Shoes, that's 4 million. I don't know if I can quite exactly afford. That would be 7. Yes, I can't exactly pump all of these up to 100. But, you know, that was a good amount of pumping up, right? I mean, I might leave a couple of these, you know, unspec'd just because. And, here, let's get this to 41, actually. Go ahead and pump that to 41. This is 47. We'll put this to 41 because, you know, that's a little bit of points. That's plus 4. And it only costs 500k, so we're left with about 7 mil, sort of, kind of. So we had 494 damage, and now let's see the damage. It is now up to 544 damage, and there's still room for these boys to grow, so I think that's pretty cool. And this is purely for an unarmed build where we can go invisible and then BAM! Oh wait, they just take 20 damage and die. Well then. You know, I've always been curious. Let's see which does more damage, the Crypt Candle or the Moisac when doing unarmed attacks. With these boots, of course, so we're gonna punch up target dummy. Boom! That is 229 punch damage. Not bad. Do these not cost any... These don't cost any mana. What the hell? That's weird. Alright, next up we have the Moisac. You know, good old Moisac. That's gonna increase our auto attack damage, our physical attack bonus, which when we're just punching is not very much. But now we do. Hello? The proc didn't happen on the boots! Uh-oh, bugged. Bugged much? Are these bugged boots? That sucks, because I clearly used the boots and then attacked. So, where's my buff? There we go. So, 306 damage with the Moisac. Clearly better than nothing at all. But finally, can we beat 306 damage with the Crypt Candle? Let's find out right now. Hopefully it doesn't bug out this time. And boom! Excuse me. What the hell? Why is it not proccing? I punched the target dummy, and it didn't do the magical spell it's supposed to do. What the heck? Fix your game! There we go, 344 damage. So the Crypt Candle, clearly superior. But I am more concerned with the auto attack damage of one of these arcane staffs. So we're going to test it with the Crypt Candle. We're going to go invis and then shoot a magical spell. 2 magical spells for 404. Or 2 auto attacks, rather. And interesting enough, the boots procs the lingering power here. So that's really, really nice. You can see that again. Doot, doot, doot. So we'll do 3 attacks. Except it didn't proc the damn magic explosion. Does it only proc every other time? What's going on? Well, why does this keep happening, right? Okay, we'll do 3 autos. So we go invis and we do 3 autos. Doot, doot, doot. That was 4. Damn it, whatever. I know I'm getting off track of the video here, but that's what we do on the channel. And again, these boots are so bugged out. Well, it only works every other time for some reason. Is there like an internal cooldown where you can't get the bonus magic damage or something? I don't know, but there we go. That's 3 autos for 481 damage. Now we got the Moisac. And of course, when I use the boots this time, what if I take them off and put them back on? Will that fix it? Does that fix the bug? We gotta beat 481 damage. Here we go, lads. Here we go. Invis. And no, it didn't fix the bug. The boots only proc every other time. I hope that's only because these are target dummies. And I hope that's not the case when it is an actual, like, player. Alright. There we go. That's 487. So, I forgot the number. But I think Moisac wins slightly. Very tiny amount wins. Finally, with our remaining points, I think I want to boost the damage of Ballista support here, which isn't going to be boosted by much, but this deals 335 damage currently. And let's copy that, 335, and see just how much we can raise it by spending our remaining points on our plate helmets here. So I'm just going to go ahead and max out the 3 normal ones. Might as well just, you know, knock those out. There we go. Knight helmet also coming in clutch here. Go ahead and finally max out Guardian Helmet. Been using that forever. Okay, we have 1.7 million left to blow. What's better to level up? Maybe Valor, maybe Graveguard, or I like Demon Helmet. Let's just level that up to, or we'll level that to 41. There we go. And then do we have anything else low level? We'll level this one to 41. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then Graveguard to 41. There we go. That's like all of our points. We're down to 80,000. We're basically done. Can I push this to 75 just for the round number? I can. Boy, oh boy, we did it. Now it's silver. Alright, so we are at 335 damage. What is our damage? Oh, is it? Yeah, 335 damage. How much did we raise it by? Wow, we got 8 damage. We increased it by 8 whole damage. I don't remember what the stun length was, but it probably wasn't much better. Anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had fun, and I hope you learned something, most importantly. With that said, please leave a like on the video. Let me know what you thought. I have no social life, so I rely on you to comment. I read every comment, and I reply to most comments. Finally, on the right side of your screen is a video you should absolutely click. And if you don't click it, what's going to happen is when you eat something, like you're gonna have a fresh, clean shower. You're gonna put on fresh, clean clothes. And then whenever you eat something, you're going to spill it all over your clothing, and you're going to be like, man, and it's going to stain, and you're going to have to change your shirt or your shorts or whatever you're wearing. So make sure you click that video on the right side, or it will happen to you. It will happen.